Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I'm Heidi from Gartner. Mark?
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
How's your day been going?
Just a typical busy day.
Yeah, I understand that you're new to the company, so how's that transition been? I'm sure keeping you busy.
Lots to work on.
Yeah,
oh, Bill.
Hey, Mark. Oh.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Sorry, I didn't know you had a meeting.
No
This
worries.
is Bill, our
I'm
CEO.
Heidi from Gartner. How are you doing, Bill?
Gartner?
Gartner, yes.
They, if I'd have known you were meeting with Gartner, I would have told you to cancel it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. About 6-7 years ago, we spent about $100,000 with them, and report we got back there at the board of directors and all, it just wasn't very good and way underutilized and that sort of thing. So I'm sure you're a nice person, but anyways, I was coming to grab you for a call, to jump on a call with me, but go ahead and finish. If I need you, I'll come get you.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Good luck to you.
I would welcome you to join us in our meeting if you want. I'd love to.
I can't. I've got to get on this call.
Okay.
So
No
okay.
worries.
All
Well,
right.
thank you. It's
We'll
great
catch up
meeting you.
later.
Okay.
Great meeting you.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
I wasn't aware
worries.
that he knew about Gartner. I probably would have just canceled our meeting if I knew that was the case.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear
so
that.
Sorry you wasted your time coming down here, but
Oh.
happy to chat. But I don't think we're going to be in a position to do business together.
No
obviously.
worries. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you had a poor experience in the past. I would love to really learn about what you're working now and see if there's any way that we could remedy that and provide value
Yeah, I don't
to you
have
in the
experience.
future.
Bill, I think one of Bill's previous companies, he must have had Gartner.
Okay. I'd love to talk to you about what you're doing now, though, and see if maybe this might be a different situation and we could potentially benefit you. Would you be open to the conversation?
Yeah, I can have the conversation, but just full transparency.
Okay.
I mean, me and Bill are working pretty closely together on these things, so
Sure.
don't want to go against the grain.
Well,
too
I
much.
appreciate you being straightforward with me, but I'd love to still talk to you and just at least learn a little bit more about your company. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
Perfect. I know we scheduled in 20 minutes. Is that still all right with you?
That's good. Yep.
Okay, and I know we did just see Bill. Should he be involved in this conversation, or does anyone else need to be here
I
for a
think we'll
decision?
keep Bill
Okay.
away from this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
I
worries.
think he's got some bad taste in his mouth for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it. If we did decide to go forward with a decision down the line, would Bill need to be involved?
I mean,
Or anybody else?
I'm the sole decision maker for all things technology related, but me and Bill are working closely together
Gotcha.
on everything as it relates to the priorities of our company. So it's yeah.
So he's kind of hand in hand with you. You guys are partners in crime here.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad to hear that. At least coming into the new company, you already have a great relationship. So glad to hear it. Just to give you a little bit of frame of reference, really my purpose in coming in here today is just to learn more about Win It Logistics, find out some of your primary objectives, your specific role in achieving those, Mark, and see if there's any areas where Gartner could potentially provide value. Is there anything you'd like to add or change to that agenda?
No, I think it sounds fair.
Okay. Would it help you if I gave you a general overview of what Gartner is all about?
Sure.
Okay, so we're the world's largest IT research and advisory firm, which essentially for you means that we're working with more technology leaders like yourself and any other company. We help to provide you with research and the analyst community so you can make those best strategic choices to save you time, save you money, and mitigate risk. Does that give you a little bit of a frame of reference of where I'm coming from?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, fantastic. So if it's all right with you, I'd really love to turn the tables now and just learn more about you. So coming into the role, you're new to the company. What would you say is Win It Logistics' primary corporate objective for 2018?
Biggest thing we're working on is returning the company to profitability.
Okay.
It's one
You're
of
in
the
the red.
reasons that the board of directors brought Bill and I in.
Sure.
I mean, we've worked together at past companies, and that's our biggest priority at the moment is let's return this company back to profitability.
Okay. In terms of what you specifically are tasked with alone in your CIO role, what would that be?
Well, I need to build a plan
Okay.
for how we're going to support that, right? So
Okay.
working on throwing out our old budget, starting over with with putting together a new budget that can support the the initiatives that we have, as well as the staff, revised staffing requirements.
Okay.
We're severely understaffed, and we've been understaffed.
Okay.
And then looking at new technologies to to help reduce our overall operating costs is
Okay.
another thing we're looking at.
All right. So it sounds like the general theme there is just looking for ways to cut costs so that you can contribute to that revenue.
Not necessarily. I mean, the IT budget is not really. I mean, we're looking to build that out so we can drive costs down our entire operating stream.
Okay. So increase the number of employees potentially bringing on, but as a whole, make the budget a little more lean and productive. Is that fair?
Yeah, the overall like operating costs, like the logistics, the shipping, we have a lot of overhead.
Okay.
That we're looking to reduce.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. So that I can understand, what have you done thus far to try to build this new budget? What does your process look like?
I mean, I've got a board meeting coming up where I'm going to present my the budget.
Okay.
And the needs that I'm going to be requesting. So right now I'm just looking at what other organizations are doing. I've actually got a budget from another company that our board of directors gave us. I'm using that as a baseline and just trying to also see as we invest in new technologies, what type of staff will I need to support that.
Completely understand. This board meeting, is it coming up soon? Could you give me a timeline?
It's 2 weeks from now.
Okay. And how prepared do you feel for this meeting?
I mean, I feel prepared enough.
Okay.
I feel prepared enough just to at least have that first conversation. I don't know if it's enough to get everything final and approved by the board. So yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you were looking over a different company's budget. Do you feel confident in making a decision based on a single other party's choices?
I mean, it's the only thing I have right now,
Okay.
so it's the best that I've got, and I'm relying on my experience as well.
Okay. Yeah, I see you've been a CIO for over 10 years, so it's definitely not your first rodeo, but okay. In terms of looking for where to potentially bring on more staffing, make some of those improvements, what sort of research are you doing?
Well, I'm researching new technologies to help streamline our whole logistics supply chain, make things run more efficiently, make things more automated. Take out maybe some staff that we're relying on manually capturing some things and replacing it with technologies.
Okay.
So that's the biggest. We've got a ton of overhead that we're looking to reduce. So with that comes additional support staff, and that's what I'm investigating to see if we procure some of these new technologies and what that looks like.
Okay. How many hours per week would you say that you're spending doing research right now?
I mean, my team's doing quite a bit of scouring the internet.
Okay.
And they'll bring some reports to me and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Me, I don't do as much research. I go to some events, but that's about it.
Okay. How many team members would you say that you have primarily working on research?
I've got total 8 at the moment, and all of them are helping me with this.
Okay. Are they utilizing Google, or do they have a different platform that they're using?
Yeah, Google and just regular trade publications they can find on the internet, and they're just trying to see what they can come up with.
Sure. How confident do you feel making decisions based on the information that they are gathering from Google?
I mean, it at least helps get the conversation started.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to an Oracle or an IBM event in the next couple weeks to actually see some of the vendors in real life.
Okay, great. That's exciting. Happy to hear that. Just to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly, it sounds like while overall your company is working on returning that profitability, right now you're really focused on trying to make sure your budget is where it needs to be. So cutting costs in some areas, getting rid of some of that overhead, as well as making sure to streamline your processes and really keep your technology as innovative as possible. Is that a fair summarization of what we've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good high level.
Okay, have I missed anything that's important to you?
Yeah, I mean, the Internet of Things is important. That's the big thing that I'm investigating technology-wise.
Okay. So between decreasing that overhead and also researching technology, what would you say is your most important priority right now?
It's putting together the whole strategy, budget, staffing requirements, and just a general summary of the new technologies we're going to invest in and how I think that can reduce our overall operating costs. Okay, completely understand. What would be the implication to the company as well as yourself personally if you're not able to be prepared for your board meeting in 2 weeks? Basically, we just lose time. Okay. We've got a series of milestones throughout the year to return our company to profitability by some point next year. So we need to stay on point with that in order to reach our overall goal. Absolutely. I'm sure even coming with a new executive board, you want to make sure those first strides are really strong. Mm-hmm. Would you be interested in learning about a tool that can help you make sure you are absolutely prepared for this meeting coming up and you can stay on top of your budgetary and technology needs? Yeah, I'd be interested.
Okay, perfect. So I'd love to talk to you a little bit about our Gartner for CIOs product. So this is a multifaceted tool with 3 primary areas. I first really just want to jump into one specific area based on the needs that I'm getting from you. I really want to customize this. And it's called our cost optimization tool. So this tool has a few different areas. Starting off, we're going to review what you're spending on technology to the industry. So we're going to be able to benchmark your budget against your competitors, firms of similar size in similar industries, so you can determine how much should you be spending overall in technology, which will give you a great frame of reference of where do we need to get to in order to maximize our profitability and get back in the green.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you could do with information like this?
I mean, similar to the budget that I have, that's kind of what I'm looking at to see how we should model it around.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up. So you do already have that reference point. However, this is going to be utilizing industry averages. So we have a team of over 1,900 analysts at Gartner that are constantly doing market research on anything and everything. So these numbers are going to be the most accurate, most unbiased information that you can compare to. So perhaps your colleague who's working in a different industry, that's how they're structuring their budget, but maybe they're a little bit off as well. So this is going to give you the standard of where should we be to really maximize those profits.
Okay.
Does that alleviate your concern, your question there?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay, I would love to jump even deeper. So this is where it really gets interesting for you. So in the orange quadrant here, what we actually will do is assess your budget inside of your company. So how it works is I would send you a survey. It takes between 20 to 40 minutes to fill out. So you can fill it out, fill whatever you feel most comfortable with. And our team of analysts will generate for you a 27-page report that's going to break down your budget line by line and show you exactly where you're spending and how much you should be spending. So you've brought up a few times that you have this overhead, you might need to bring new staffing in. So this is going to show you concretely, we are maybe below the market average on how many staff members we have and how much we're spending on employees. Maybe we are overspending on software, security, things like that. So it's really going to alleviate all of that guesswork that you right now maybe are encountering while you're trying to build this budget plan to propose to the board. And it's going to do it for you with only, on average, 30 minutes of your own time.
Okay, sounds interesting. Yeah.
How long do you think it would take you personally to compile a report like that?
A long time.
Yeah. So what do you think you could do with the time that you'd be saving just having the report given to you?
Probably just spending more time evaluating some of the. If I can get that done first, then I can start investigating other technologies and the Internet of Things and vendors to potentially procure and start executing on it.
Absolutely. So you brought up the Internet of Things. So if perhaps you do look to bring new vendors into your company, what would you say the contracts typically look like in size? I see in your industry they're usually around $2 million. Would you say that's a fair summary?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the size of contracts. I know we've got probably a dozen or so vendor contracts.
Okay. So we can even lowball it and say that they're going to be $1 million a piece. Okay. Does that make you feel comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that you do decide to bring on a few vendors, decide to reevaluate them. Gartner can actually look at those contracts and determine more savings you can find. So we can, on average, 3 out of every 4 contracts that we review, we find between 15 to 20% cost savings. So if I'm being extremely conservative, I always like to under-promise and over-deliver. So let's say we only save you 10%. 10% on $1 million contract is $100,000. Times 12, that's $1.2 million of hard dollar savings back in your pocket. So you can take that and invest it in those Internet of Things and those other vendors you want to bring on to really boost that profitability. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure other people would find that valuable. I mean, we're not overly concerned with the size of the IT budget or how much we're spending. I'd rather
just where you're spending it.
Yeah, I'd rather overspend on a vendor and have that vendor drive significant results to reducing our operating costs. That's a better trade-off to me than just nickel and diamond.
Great. I'm glad to hear that value is important to you. I'm going to pull up really quickly what our research tool looks like. So this is one of those other facets. So this is going to allow you to determine which vendors are best. This is Gartner's homepage. So how our partnership would work is you'd get a username and password, and I'd be your primary account executive walking you through all the steps in this process. For today, why don't you type in Internet of Things for me in the search bar, please? Perfect. And we'll wait for the Wi-Fi to kick in. But this is essentially our location for all of the research articles that we have. So, like I mentioned, we have over 1,900 analysts. As you can see here, you would have access to, let's see if it pulls up, almost 13,000 articles all written on the Internet of Things. So this is going to allow you to really determine which vendor might be the best direction to go in, so you can really maximize and get the most bang for your buck. He mentioned it's not about the cheapest, it's about the best quality. So you'll be able to read here which types of vendors create the most profitability, have the best retention rates for your employees, things like that.
Okay.
How do you think you'd utilize this tool?
It's hard to tell right now, but I think just getting a feel for the overall landscape and the vendors that are out there to help me prepare for the IBM conference I'm going to, I think would be good to help orient me a bit.
Absolutely. So you're going to know what you're walking into. That way when you do meet with these vendors face to face, you know a little background on them. You kind of already have generated your short list of who you for sure want to talk to. I think it would be a tool that would really assist you in your primary motives right now, which is to really turn around this company like you did the last one you were at.
Mm-hmm.
Does this seem like a tool you'd be interested in?
If it wasn't for Bill,
okay.
Perhaps.
So we can definitely talk about that. I want to also pull up for you, I'm sure you're wondering about the financials. So this is what the investment looks like. Now I do say investment and not price because we're looking for a partnership. It's a 3-year commitment. And what we do is we really want to invest in you and let us grow together. So it's only going to be roughly $50,000 a year for you personally. If you decide to bring on Bill or any team leads, there'll be a subsidized additional license cost there. However, looking at these numbers, I just want to give you a little reference point again. We talked about $1.2 million conservatively saving you on the contracts you currently have, as well as eliminating most of the time your 8 team members are spending doing research and going through your budget structure.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing all that, seeing the financials, what concerns do you have that would prevent you from starting your partnership today?
I mean, it all sounds interesting. It's just Bill, I'm not going to go against the grain with what his opinion of Gartner is, so we have to be working together versus working apart in order for us to have a shot at turning this company around.
Completely understand.
I need to prioritize, our relationship and our working relationship.
Absolutely.
Above the vendors that I work with. So that sounds good, but maybe for later.
Okay, so if you don't mind if I ask, if it weren't for Bill and the information he just shared with you, would I have your personal endorsement in this product?
I'm intrigued, yeah.
Okay.
I think there could be some value there.
Do you know specifically maybe what happened with that prior situation?
I'm not sure. He's never talked to me about that before.
So I obviously can't guarantee that everything works perfectly all the time. No company is flawless. Obviously, you've been to companies, you've turned them around. Gartner is continuously improving. We're constantly adding analysts, research. 73% of the Fortune 500 are reoccurring Gartner clients. The best companies in the world would not continue to sign and partner with us if they weren't seeing an enormous return on their investment. We drive revenue. That's what we're great at. We're great at making you more profitable, and it sounds like that's your primary objective. I really want to make sure that you come into this new role. I understand Bill's coming in as well. I want to help both of you really turn this place around. I want Win It Logistics to win it again. I want you guys to be really successful. What could I show you today to make you feel confident that Gartner is the right move to help you flourish?
It's not about me.
Okay.
It's more about I need to talk with Bill after this meeting just to get some more clarity on what happened. But as you can see, he's very emotional, and he does tend to, you're either in with him or you're out with him. And I think right now something happened where I don't think it's going to prevent us from doing business. Okay.
Well, I would love the opportunity to turn it around between Gartner and Bill's relationship. So I know that time is of the urgency with that timeline, with your board meeting coming up in 2 weeks, and you're going to that conference this weekend. I would love to have a meeting. Obviously, Bill's busy now, but maybe tomorrow with the 3 of us, and I could show this to Bill and I could demonstrate to him that Gartner is a fantastic company, and I'm extremely sorry for what happened in the past, but I know that we can help you in the future.
Let me talk to him just to gauge what happened, and then I can get back to you to see if it's appropriate for us to join that meeting. I can't speak on his behalf right now, unfortunately.
Totally understand. How about you and I put a time down for tomorrow, and then we'll pencil Bill in. If he's unable to make it, I have a folder here with all of the materials that I showed you today, as well as a few additional ones. Actually, I have 2 folders. You can give one to Bill as well. My business card is in here, so if Bill's unable to make it tomorrow, I'd love for you to reach out and let me know, and you and I can speak again so we can really tag team this in the future. But I know your conference is coming up, so I want to make sure we really take advantage of this opportunity.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk to him and let you know.
Okay, so how about you and I plan on tomorrow at 9 a.m., and then you can give me a call later this afternoon if Bill's not in, and we can adjust from there?
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. Going into the meeting, is there anything else I should have prepared for Bill?
It just depends if he's. I highly doubt he's going to come.
Okay.
I just need to gauge to see what. I'm just curious to see what happened in the past.
Sure.
But
Well, I look forward to meeting with you, and I really hope that Bill can join us and I can prove Gardner's value to him.
all right.
Thank
Sounds
you
good.
so much.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.